Hi, I'm Chas, and you're watching Chas's Crazy Creations. Here's a quick shot of my laundry room, and these are my cabinets above my washer and dryer. And the top shelf and above the top shelf are a little hard for me to get to, so I need a step stool. I found this step stool at a garage sale for super cheap. I want it to match my laundry room, so I'm gonna be painting it, and as you can see, it's got some marks on it. So the first step we're gonna be doing is a little bit of sanding. So this is a little bit rough. That's one reason we want to sand it down. But then the other reason we want to do a little sanding is so that the paint will adhere to the stool. So depending upon what kind of paint you're using, you definitely want to lightly sand just to make sure you have the ability to paint it. The other thing you can do is, spray paint it, add a primer, but again, you've got these bumps here, so if you don't get those down, they're gonna show through. A lot of paints, like chalk paint, say that you don't have to take care of them first before you paint, which is somewhat true, but again, it's all about these bumps and the surface, so you kind of want to level out your surface first before you go ahead and paint it. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep sanding here till I get a nice smooth coat and just touch up all the rest of this stool so it's ready for painting. Now that it's all sanded, I'm gonna use some crud cutter just to give it a good clean all over and get all the dust, and sometimes there's extra things on there like maybe some tape residue or something else. So you just want to give it a good cleaning with this stuff to get it all off of there. So I'll go ahead and finish wiping this off and then we'll be ready to paint. So the first color paint I'm going to be using is Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in the color Castle. Now I picked this color paint because it's going to bring out those dark tones that are already in my laundry room. But I want to mention that make sure you choose a paint that is safe for the surface you're painting. So if this is wood, so I want to make sure that I pick a paint that is good for wood. So again, brush strokes can matter. So when you're painting, get the paint on there, but then finish it off with some nice smooth strokes. And you might have to do more than one coat. Chalk paint is self-leveling, which is one of the things I like about it. But yeah, go ahead and get one coat on and know that you might need to put more coats on. So just one smooth, light coat is the way to go. And you're probably gonna, get part of it done and need to tip it over later after it dries and get the rest of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue painting this, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Here's a quick look at it after one coat. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry and see how it looks and decide if I need a second coat. Then once it's completely dry, I'm gonna tip it over and do the inside. Now I moved inside because the surface on this was getting a little too warm for the paint. So again, we're just gonna start with the glaze, painting it on, and then we're going to use the wood grain tool to pull it off. So I moved inside because the surface of this stool was starting to get a little too hot, and that can cause the paint to dry faster than I want. And I want time to work with my wood grain tool. So I'm going to start by just painting the glaze on. And if you don't like the way something turns out, you can easily just start over, paint it again, and then start over. All right, I'm just smoothing out the edges now. All right, so that's all done. Now it's time to use the tool. So you start with the tool at the top, and then you rock it back and forth. And then I usually like to wipe off some of the excess. And then I try to not push too hard because you want it to look as natural as possible. And this is just kind of giving it that plank look. Like so. And that's really all there is to it. And now if for some reason you don't like the way something looks, like maybe you don't like how smeary this part is, or you don't like how not clean that is, you just can easily just add some glaze again to that spot right there, like this. I'm just gonna go ahead and I can add this section again. Just add some glaze. And if I wanna do it again, it's kind of fun too, so. You just can start over if you want by adding some more of that glaze to your piece. And you start over. So we'll go ahead and do it again. So again, cleaning off my tool, starting in one place, setting it down lightly, and then just rocking back and forth until I get the look that I want, and having fun with it. I think it's a lot of fun using this tool. And there you go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let this glaze dry completely, and then we're gonna add a protective coat to it. Now that it's had time to dry, I'll be using Folk Art Home Decor varnish to coat it to protect the surface. So my goal was to tie in what I've done here with the cabinets onto my stool. So now looking at the stool, the color on the base matches, and now I've tied the wood grain in as well. So I'm very pleased with how this stool turned out for my laundry room. I hope this inspires you to update a piece of furniture for your home. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chascrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.